Hello, everyone. It's so good to see everyone. Make sure we have a backup camera just in case. Yes. I know it. I know that's exciting, isn't it? Isn't that so exciting? Yes, good girl. Yes. Okay, let's go through this real quick. Make sure that I don't miss on anything. Perfect. All right. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Do It with Daisy. It's are you a little mad at me? You're mad at me? Oh, because I haven't given you any strawberries yet? Oh my goodness. Oh, not chewed enough? I'm not the right one. You want me to cut them? Okay, please be patient then. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Do It with Daisy. Valentine's Day is right around the corner, which is so much fun, except that almost all of the traditional gifts could kill your dog. And they're not really that great for you either. So I decided that today, Waffles and I are going to show you how to make... I know I stepped on something and it was loud, but that's okay. Because we are going to show our friends how to make a healthy Valentine's dessert. We are going to make high protein strawberry cheesecake roses. So let's dig in. So the first thing that we want to do is we want to get our cheesecake spread made. You think I should calm down a little? You're right, I should. You think I need breath? That better? Thank you. So we want to make our cheesecake spread first. And what we're going to need for that is we're going to need some cottage cheese, maple syrup, honey, and a little bit of vanilla. I also like to put a little bit of cardamom in there just because it gives it a little extra zazz. But don't worry, Waffles, we're not going to do that part live. All you need to do to prepare your spread is to mix all of the ingredients except for the strawberries. So like the cheesecake, the maple syrup, the honey, and the vanilla. You want to mix all of that in a food processor. Blend it until there's no more clumps. It's going to get really nice and smooth and creamy. And then you want to put that in a piping bag and seal the end with a rubber band or not, like whatever works for you. And then put that in the refrigerator to chill. So we're just going to leave that chilling while we cut our strawberries. Now, for the strawberries, let's put that there so that you can still sniff them. I know you're too picky. You won't actually eat them. You want to have a little knife. Let's actually move this to the side so you can see what I'm doing here. And I am going to be posting multiple angles so you can see this from all sides onto my OnlyFans tomorrow. So a lot of people will take the stem off. The leaves. There's not really much of a stem on the strawberries by the time you buy them at the store usually, but a lot of people will take the leaves off, and I don't think that's necessary, but I also think that by taking the leaves off, you're taking something away from the dessert. Like roses have leaves, especially like at the base, so why would we not leave the leaves on? Another thing you might see people do is just completely cut the cap off to create a level surface, but the top of most of these strawberries is level enough. Like I'm not holding these and they're still able to stand, unlike the bottom. So I personally like to leave them just like this before you start carving. Now to carve, honey, can you please get your paws off? Thank you. I love you. Mama's going to cut this and then I'm going to fill it with the cheesecake. Yeah, that's so exciting. Oh, you got it. I got you. That better? Good girl. All right, I did just put this is actually a freezer right next to me, so I don't want that to freeze. So demonstration purposes only. It's still cold because I've had it in the refrigerator for 2 days. All right, so to cut your strawberry rose, you're going to make short rows of petals. So start maybe like a half an inch, a quarter inch to a half an inch from the bottom. Yeah, that's about a quarter to a third of an inch, and cut straight down and then in a little bit. Now, what that does is it pushes your petal out a little bit, which that's typically how people make strawberry cheesecake roses or strawberry roses. But this is also important for the cheesecake part because without pushing it out, without making that little indent in, then your cheesecake isn't going to have anywhere to sit and it's going to just smudge all over all your petals. It's going to bury them instead of highlighting them. So you really want to make sure just a little cut down and then little bit in. Little cut down, little bit in. This takes just a little bit of practice. Like the first 2 strawberries, you might look kind of rough. You might slice off a few petals, but by your 3rd to 5th strawberry, you're going to be cruising, and it's just so easy and so much fun. It just takes, that first 2 or 3 strawberries to practice. So now on your second row, you want to start up a little bit here. On your second row, you want to start in between 2 of those petals and then bring your blade up a little bit, straight down. When you get to the top of those petals, curve your blade in a little, and you want to bring your blade further in. Like you really want to just be cutting into the strawberry so that you don't end up dragging your blade across the previous row of petals that you've made. All right, so down, straight down, and then in a little. Straight down and in a little. Straight down and in a little. And then we'll just keep going up, kind of weaving those petals across each other until we get to the top. And I will show you exactly what to do when we get to the top. Oops, okay, well these ones are a little uneven, but that's okay. So the other cool thing about this activity is it doesn't need to be perfect. All right, so now when you get to the top, you just want to make a little hole. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry, honey. I always give you that part. Okay. And then if you forget to give your dog the scrap, just make your hole a little bigger. Now, to fill this with cheesecake, you'll want your piping bag and a coupler and a sleeve. The reason you want a sleeve is because otherwise you would need the first half of this coupler to be inside of this bag. Whereas if you have a sleeve, it doesn't need to be. You can go ahead and put this in the sleeve, put your coupler over top of that. And then you'll take your piping bag or a Ziploc. You can totally use a Ziploc for this too. That's actually how I was taught growing up. And anything that required a piping bag, we just used a Ziploc. So you can absolutely do that. And in my other videos for this activity, I am going to be using a different tip so that you can see the difference between the ease of use for both of them. So I used a smaller, more rounded tip in my other videos that you can find on OnlyFans. And in our live class, I am going to be using a flat tip because I believe that that's going to make it easier to separate the petals. All right, so we really just want to make sure that the end of that piping bag lands inside of the tip so that it starts oozing out like that. Yep. And if that grossed you out, don't worry. I wasn't planning on sharing these except for, letting Waffles have a couple. All right, sweetie, I need you to back up a little and I will let you have this one. Is that a deal? All right, back up. Thank you. It's really hard for her right now. And this is very full. Okay, so word to the wise, it's easier to work with half-filled piping bags. Waffles, don't you steal. All right. Oh my gosh. And it's also, so we're just going to go around and we're going to go around and we're going to Squirt some of this filling in between each of the petals. And my impatient dog is, we're going to hope that she doesn't rip it in half or rip it out of my hands while we're doing this and I'm showing you. All right, okay. So then there we go, strawberry cheesecake rose. It's a little messy, but that's what happens when you cook with your dog sometimes. All right, sweetie, I need you to stand and back up. Thank you. Perfect. Now lay down and don't go any further than here. Yes, down. Good girl. Good girl. Oh, that's so good. All right. So again, straight down and in a little. Straight down and in a little. Straight down, in a little, straight down, in a little, straight down, in a little, and then cross hatching those petals, just getting a petal in between each of the petals on the previous row, straight down and in a little, straight down and in a little. Oops, I cut that petal off a little, but that's okay. Sometimes mistakes happen, especially when you position your blade in the opposite way, as I explained you guys should. All right, good girl, stay. All right, so now we've got a beautiful cheesecake, a beautiful strawberry rose. We're gonna go ahead and put a little bit of this cheesecake filling in between all of those petals. And by the way, my hypothesis was incorrect. Okay, the smaller the tip for your piping bag, the better for this project. All right. And remember, the ingredients for this high protein cheesecake filling are cottage cheese, honey, maple syrup, vanilla, and an optional addition is a dash of cardamom. You do not need the cardamom to get the cheesecake filling. It's just one of my favorite spices to add to any dessert. All right, so this one definitely looks much better. Strawberry cheesecake rose. And it just kind of highlights and it just kind of highlights all of the petals and helps to create a little bit of contrast there. So good, guys. So good. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and cut a bunch more of these. I'm probably going to eat 2 with dinner tonight, and I think I want to save the rest. I'm going to freeze them. So stay tuned to see how these handle in the freezer. And while I'm cutting these, just go ahead and drop any questions that you have, whether it be about this recipe, about Do It With Daisy in general, the official Do It With Daisy cookbook, animal assisted yoga, any questions that you have for me, feel free to throw them in the comments while I'm cutting these. Good girl. I swear they get, even within the same day, like practice really, really makes a difference, because this one looks 20 times better than the first 2. I am kind of considering switching out my piping bag tip though, because I do have the other one right here. I just don't know if I want to pull all of this out of the sleeve just to make piping a hair easier, when I can just use my finger here to separate the petals. And I think this is a better demonstration for you guys anyway, because I'm sure that there are some people at home that don't have piping tools. I haven't always had piping tools. It wasn't something that was necessary. And I would love for everyone to be able to do this activity. Super healthy for you. Way less risk for your dog than having a bunch of chocolate around the house. There we go. Look how beautiful that one is. Oh, yeah. Okay. So we'll set that one aside. Set it right there. We're not just going to eat all of them right after they're done, honey. Here, you want to lick some of that? I will say that is the one downside to cooking with your dog is they want to eat everything that you make right. No, don't steal right away. And excuse me, for them, it's actually an impulse control exercise because, I mean, we all know that overfeeding dogs is just like so easy to do, right? That's why there are so many overweight dogs, especially because, you know, they don't really have, most dogs don't really have like a stop eating when they're not hungry anymore sort of thing, because they're built to be scavengers. They're built to eat what they can when they can. So it's our responsibility as their caretaker to ensure that they don't go overboard when it comes to food. And the easiest way that I have found to do that is to monitor how much you're eating yourself. So, for example, like we will eat our meals separately. When I was still struggling to create healthy meals, then I would just use her leftover food to make something for me. But now that I've gotten much better at making healthy meals, I just make sure that I eat anytime that she has a full meal. And then when we have snacks in between meals, then I make sure that I eat 3 times as much as her, because my body needs 3 times as many calories as my dog's body does. So if aside from our meals, we're like having snacks and they're healthy and stuff, but I realize, oh, I've had enough. I'm full. I don't need any more. This one's a little soft. I think we're just going to share this one. Then I know that she has definitely had way too much. Whereas if we're sharing snacks and I only give her 1 every time that I have 3, then I know that I will get full, that when I get full, she has had plenty, but she hasn't had a crazy excessive amount of treats. And then of course, that's something that you just kind of judge. You just kind of figure that out, like based on like what works with your life. If you have a hard time eating enough, like I do sometimes, granted, this is not junk food. I can eat junk food all day long, but I try really hard not to. And when I'm not eating junk food, I just don't really get hungry. So if that's kind of your issue too, then that's the way to go, is 3 for me, 1 for you. But if you have a hard time, like you're just always hungry and you have a hard time avoiding eating too much, or you have a hard time stopping when you're full, then it kind of creates this urgency. Like you've got to keep track of how much you're eating. And then when you've hit your limit, then you know, okay, you and I, we're going through this together. We both have to stop, even though we think that we're still hungry. So it's just kind of like the impulse control that you're working on with your animal can help with your impulse control as well. And this is just from my own experience. Like, I'm not a doctor or anything, but I feel like when we're talking about creating really strong habits, working together and sharing what works for each of us as individuals is so useful. So I really hope that these little insights into what has helped me achieve healthy eating is helpful for you guys as well. And let me know in the comments if they are or if they aren't, because I do like to design these classes around what I think you guys are going to find most helpful. right, this one's a nice firm one. It's gonna look beautiful. Good girl. All right, got the lower layer of petals done. I could also use my knife to push this out, but I'm a very textile-based person. I do like to feel what I'm doing. I like to feel the textures underneath my skin so that it makes it easier for me in particular to complete any task. Like I've got to be able to feel what I'm doing. We'll go ahead and say that's why I don't use utensils when I eat. I mean, I do. I'll grab a fork, but really it's just for leverage. Like I need to be able to get more food on my fingers, and that would be why I grab a fork. There's one more here, and then fill this guy. Perfect. Strawberry cheesecake rose. Okay, so we've got that one there too. Ooh, this one looks pretty. I know it, honey. Now, the more room you create in between your petals, then the easier it's going to be to fill with your strawberry cheesecake spread, and the more definition you're going to create. It's going to be a much bigger contrast, a much bigger pow in between your white filling and your red strawberries. Here you go. See, I already missed. Definitely go with the smaller tip, guys. I'm glad that I did this one so that I could give you a comparison. But yeah, learn from my struggles here and go with the smaller tip. Oh my gosh. Oh yeah, that one looks real pretty, right? Very nice. Oh, so good. All right, this time I'm going to try filling from the top to bottom and see if that's a little bit easier. I just had that idea, and since we're filming live, I figured this is a really great opportunity because I can update you guys immediately if this is easier, and so far it is. Yeah, it is easier to fill from the top bottom. So cut from the bottom up and then fill from the top down. And I think I understand why that is. You see, the top petals are much more rigid. So then when you're filling the final more floppy petals, you don't have already filled floppy petals just flapping all over your cheesecake rose. Beautiful. You don't have those floppy petals already flapping all over your cheesecake rose, getting the cheesecake spread everywhere. So carve from the bottom up and fill from the bottom down. Or, oh my gosh, carve from the bottom up. And fill from the top down. This one's just going to be challenging altogether, like, because it's very crooked. It is easiest to do this with very symmetrical strawberries, but that doesn't mean that you can't do it with a curved one. And we're gonna do this with a curved one. This curved one right now. It's definitely more challenging though. This is a really, really fun Valentine's Day activity. You can do it by yourself. You can do it with your animal. You can do it as a couple, I guess. I'm really a solo kind of vibe when it comes to these kind of things. But, you know, to each their own. And then if it's like crazy messy like that, you can always clean it up. So much for eating two today, right? Oh, wait, I want more of these ones. These ones are really pretty. All right, guys, we're switching this out. Oh my gosh. I put it on too tight. Okay, I guess we're not switching it out. I wanted to show you in our last couple minutes how we can do it with a smaller tip and how it's a little easier. But there's no way I'm getting this coupler off. Not today. Excuse me. Can you please give me some space? Space. Excuse me. Space. Thank you. That's perfect. That's perfect. You can lay down. Thank you. Thank you, beautiful angel. All right, let's get you guys a little bit closer. For this last strawberry. So we've got our first row here. And then in between those two petals, you can see this little doodad here. I'm going to go straight down. Careful not to hit those other petals. And then in a little bit. Straight down, 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 in a little bit. Now, we could probably do another row here, but we're going to go ahead and skip that last row. Going to cut a hole in the top. Give that little bit to our dog. You can eat it too. Like, you can totally eat that piece too. But if you're doing this activity with your dog, that is a good piece to give them. Right? And then you want to fill from the top down. Fill that little boop boop there. And then go ahead and just pull out each petal so that you can put, Pretend you didn't see that part. Okay, so pull out each petal so you can put a little bloop bloop in there. Little bloop bloop. Okay. You can also use a knife to pull out the petals. Little bloop bloop. Little bloop bloop. Okay. And then we've got our final petals down here. Little bloop bloop, little bloop bloop. Little bloop bloop, little bloop bloop, little bloop bloop. Okay. We got one last petal right here. Don't want to miss out on any chance to get lots of cheesecake sauce in here. And there we go. Strawberry cheesecake rose. Ready for the refrigerator. Now you can leave these in the you can leave these in the refrigerator all day and the cheesecake will just turn pink because it'll get mixed in with the juice of the strawberry. Like I said, I am going to put a couple of these in the freezer, so stay tuned to see how they do frozen. Thank you. Yeah, she's pretty. She does pretty well. She's a good girl, even though she does want to eat them all. Here, I'll give you a little coated strawberry. Does anyone have any final questions before? Oh my gosh, she just sucked off the sauce and left the rest. No, Mom, put more sauce on that for me. Thanks. Okay, stop that. Thank you. Does anyone have any final questions for us? Oh, well, I'm glad that you thought that was funny too. I'm going to go ahead and cut this into pieces for her because she will eat sliced strawberries. She just doesn't like to chew it up herself because she can't taste the juice as much as if Like this thing is like 70% just juicy uncoverage. Oh, you don't want that one? Okay. Maybe she's just being picky because most of them have been covered with cheesecake filling. Yep, that's exactly what's going on. You're such a little stinker. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us. That's true. She does know when there are cameras there, and she knows that she gets big treats when there's cameras around. So she definitely is better behaved when the lights and cameras come out. Oh, waffles, don't steal. You're so welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. I hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope that you found today's class to be helpful and fun. And yeah, I hope you had as much fun with us as we did with you. We will be back next week for some more doggone cooking. So make sure that if you did enjoy this video, if you found it to be helpful, make sure that you like this post, share it with a friend, and of course, make sure you're subscribed to me. I've got 3 different pages, and I've got all sorts of fun content to share. Thank you. We will see you next week for some more doggone cooking.